Okay, so let's look at question number 7. Which 3 of the following statements are true? The bilayer of a cellular membrane is primarily composed of amphipathic lipids, also known as amphiphilic. So this is true. Bilayer is composed of amphipathic lipids. So I'm going to draw out an example of what these amphipathic lipids kind of look like. Basically, you have a head, and then the tail. So usually it's like a non-polar tail. And then the head is polar. And that's what they mean by amphipathic. It has both polar and non-polar attributes to it. Let's look at 2. Forming an ordered network of water around hydrophobic molecules increases the entropy of water. That is false. 3. Nonpolar molecules that have no polar groups can readily form micelles. So this is also false. And I'll say why. Because micelles look like this. So fun fact, micelles are used like in soaps and detergents, and they're the reasons why we can trap dirt in the inside of them and then using water just washing it out. So basically you need both nonpolar and the polar groups to form micelles. Okay, 4. The tendency of hydrophobic molecules to aggregate in water is called the hydrophobic effect, so this is correct. And then lastly, for 5, placing a hydrophobic molecule into water causes water molecules to orient themselves around it. So this is true. Okay, so let's look at the answer from our junior tutor. The bilayer of a cellular membrane is primarily composed of amphipathic lipids. The tendency of hydrophobic molecules to aggregate in water is called the hydrophobic effect. Then lastly, placing a hydrophobic molecule into water causes water molecules to orient themselves around it. So solution is correct. Okay, so we have time for one more. But this one has like a lot of different mini questions in it, so let's just see how many I can answer in the amount of time we have left. Not that much time, but let's see. What are transferred in an oxidation-reduction reaction? These are electrons. In the reaction of beryllium with fluorine, which atom is oxidized? So this answer is beryllium. It goes from a neutral state of 0 to a +2 oxidation state. 3. This equation represents the type of reaction called, so this is an oxidation reaction. And we know this because the silver is oxidized. Or what is the reducing agent in the following reaction? So in this case, it is our potassium. The oxidation number of oxygen when it is in a compound other than a peroxide is -2. So when it's in a peroxide, it has a -1 oxidation number. What is the oxidation number for each atom in NH4F? So the fluorine will have a -1 oxidation number. The hydrogens, each one has a +1. So therefore, our nitrogen will have a -3 oxidation number. So those are the 3. Which atom has a change in oxidation number of +4 in the following redox reaction? So already just looking at this, I can tell that it is the sulfur and SO2. Since there are 2 oxygens, each with a -2 charge, you need a +4 sulfur, and it went from an oxidation state of 0 to +4. Of the following metals, which ions are most easily reduced? So they don't give us the table for this, but basically the answer is copper. In a zinc-copper cell, which electrode is positive? So it would be the copper 2+. Let's look at 10. How must a redox reaction that is to be used as a source of electrical energy be set up? So it should be physically separated. In a voltaic cell, at which electrode does reduction occur? So reduction takes place in the cathode. What assures that there is no charge buildup in a voltaic cell as oxidation and reduction occur? This is the salt bridge. The most commonly dry cell, what material is the electrode that is the center rod made of? That was worded oddly, but the answer is graphite. So graphite is a conductive material used. 14. To charge a lead storage battery, you must apply direct current. In a hydrogen-oxygen fuel cell, the oxygen diffuses through the cathode. When electrical energy is used to cause a chemical reaction, we call this process electrolysis. Which of the following is true about an electrolytic cell? Changes chemical energy to electrical energy. Type of cell used in electrocution. Uses an electric current to make a non-spontaneous reaction go. So that is all of the above. 18. The products formed in the net reaction of the electrolysis of water are both hydrogen, H2, and oxygen. I'm just going to answer this last one. What occurs in electroplating? So this is when you have the deposition of a metal layer on a material. And the rest are just open response questions. So let's see, electrons, beryllium, oxidation, K. I think they did the oxygens in a peroxide. -3, +1, -1. The sulfur, copper. Separated physically, cathode, salt bridge, graphite, direct current. Oxygen diffuses through the cathode, electrolysis. Okay, so yeah. Hydrogen gas and oxygen gas, deposition of metal layer on a material. Okay. I'm just gonna mention that